Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Moxie Monday. How's everybody doing today? Good, I hope. Good. I see some thumbs up and some smiles and some heads nodding. Awesome. I assume you can hear me okay. Since you're answering questions, you can probably see me okay. We are right at 10:16, so we are going to jump in today to a good Moxie Monday. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, so hopefully you guys can kind of get in and jump back off and then get started with your day. So my name is Elizabeth Glass, and I'm going to jump in today right to some new campaign material that the brand has pulled out, just so you guys can kind of revamp for 2024 and get going with some of those drip campaigns. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to jump in that chat box, ask them at any time. I'm happy to answer them on this session, or you can always reach out to me at any time, either by email or phone, or any of us on the training team as well. So let's talk about new campaign material from Moxi Engage. So if you are in your Moxi Engage account, first of all, for those of you that are newer, once you get into Moxi, there is a navigational panel at the very top of your screen. The way that we're going to access and getting into our Engage, which is our CRM, that's our client relationship management tool. That's where we're going to put all of our people, so our contacts, and that's also where we're going to have our campaigns, and then all of those things that are just revolving, being in contact with our sphere. Choosing to click on the Engage option is going to take us into Engage. For those of you who are agents, it's going to load you right to the agent page. If you are a manager or an admin, you're just going to come over here to the left and then choose to put yourself into agent mode. And then if you notice here, we actually have underneath our main navigational panel, there is a sub-navigational panel. So these are the different page panels of Moxi Engage. What we're going to do today is we're going to jump right into where it says campaigns. Now, for those of you who are newer and haven't been into this section yet, what's going to happen is the first time you're going to come into Moxi Engage, this page is actually going to be blank, okay? So I want you to realize that this is actually the library, and this is not going to have anything in it. These will all be zero. So basically what it does is it breaks it down so you can very quickly and easily on the main page see those campaigns that you've not only brought in, but then you can also look to see how they're doing analytically. So if you notice here, on this particular one, it says I have a total number of 2 campaigns that I pulled in. None of them are waiting to be set up. None of them are running, and then 2 of them are paused. And right now I have 0 in campaigns that are archived. What happens is when we go into our library and we pull them out of the library, they then come over here and they're in our all campaign area. And they will be in the awaiting setup area until we choose who are going to the people those are going to go to. And then you'll see them down here as well. So let's jump right in. Top right-hand corner, we're going to click Add from Library. And this is so easy, you guys. It doesn't take any great amount of time. If you notice over here to the left, it will actually show the 2 holiday campaigns that the brand has created for us, and that will run through January 2024 all the way through December. So these are the good drip campaigns to get your clients on. Keep in mind, if you have an existing one running for 2023, please go ahead and turn that off. Make sure that nothing residual is carrying over. We want to be thoughtful about what we send to people, because it's good to have one thing in their inbox, but you don't want to have many things, or they're just not going to open it and it's doing you no good. So let's take a look at our screen here. Do you guys see how we have 3 sections? Campaigns, email blasts, or e-blasts, and emails. We're going to go into these 2 here. The first one is campaigns. Now, these are all of the campaigns that are either from the brand itself, so Coldwell Banker, or also from Schmidt Family of Company. So as the Schmidt's marketing team, as we create new content material, you'll also see that stuff in here as well. But let's jump in really quick. We're going to look at 2 different things here. First of all, I want you to notice the 2024 holiday campaign. That's the new material that they've just added. If you are looking to work with your clientele that is Spanish speaking, we now have a version that's for you, and that is also the whole thing in Spanish, which is very, very cool. Now, if I go down to here, you'll see the holiday 2024 campaign, and that's the generalized campaign here. And then what you'll want to do is, if you want to take a look at it before you pull it in, you can take your cursor all the way to the right and see where it says preview. You're going to go ahead and hit preview. And then what it does is it then gives you the campaign cadence schedule. So this one's particular to the date, whereas a lot of the other ones that are for sellers and buyers, those are not specific to a date, and those are more so if you added me today as a lead and you sent me that campaign, it would then send it to you 30 days later. So it doesn't mean that it starts on January 30th or anything like that, but this one is date sensitive. So as you guys can see here at the very top, we have these rolling, scrolling options to click. And what it does is it lets you actually take a sneak peek and see all of the different campaign pieces that are going to go out. And then right here to the right, we just have a whole list of what they are. So you're allowed to just jump in here real quick and take a peek at it. You'll see that there's graphics in here, there's content in here. And then if I continue to go forward, and let's say there's one particular one I don't want to have in here for any reason, let me show you what we do. First of all, you go ahead and you choose to keep the campaign. So we're going to say add to campaigns. And now what this has done is it's taken it and put it from the Coldwell Banker library, and it's now put it into our dashboard library. So as you guys can see now, my number updated instantly, and it says 3 campaigns. I now have one in here that says awaiting setup. And you also now see a preview here. So the cool thing about this area here is if you guys see, it actually does your analytics. So this is obviously just something I did for training. But what will happen is when you start to put your people on these campaigns, it's going to give you your actual percentage of open. And then when you go in there, if there's clickable items in there, especially if it's a video or something that clicks to your website, this is actually going to show you that clickable rate as well. How many people opened it versus clicks in general? How many people unsubscribed in general? And the cool thing about this is it isn't just generalized information. It's specific to the person. This is what I think is huge as far as focusing on who I'm going to spend my time working towards speaking to as a client. So for example, right here, you guys see this one right here. If I sent this campaign piece to them and I know this particular person picked it, so you see it's like clickable, it's actually going to take me and it's going to show me who it is. Now this particular one was me, so it's not showing it, but what it's going to do is it actually takes you to who the person was. So if you're showing those people are opening it, maybe those are the people you want to focus on. However, the opposite to that, show over here the unsubscribed. What you're going to want to do very specifically is if you have people, let's say on more than one campaign, and let's say you see they've unsubscribed over here, it will allow you to then go ahead and click on that. And then here it will actually list all the people unsubscribing. But again, it's going to be clickable. So it's going to take you into their profile and allow you to actually see if they have other campaigns. Because one thing I need to be very clear here is, let's say for an example, I felt like both of these campaigns just should really go to one of my contacts, okay? So let's say I really felt like this seasonal home maintenance needed to go in there, and I also really felt like the holiday one should be one, and those should be 2 that I did. The important thing is because they're separate campaigns, they're not linked together. What that means is that if I unsubscribe or your client unsubscribes from one campaign, it does not automatically unsubscribe them from this campaign. So it's your due diligence then just to kind of be on top of your business, make things clean. My recommendation is just like anything else, if you're putting somebody on a campaign, maybe go into your calendar and then plug in there a date like a month from now or 2 months from now. Just jump in here to make sure you're not getting a lot of people unsubscribing. You want to make sure this is working for your clientele and not against it. So let's go ahead and jump in and set up that campaign and let's get that running. And then we can show you a little bit of something else as well. So I'm going to go ahead straight here and I can either click awaiting setup, or I can jump down here and then I can also click on it right in here as well. So either way. Now it's very, very simple. There's not much to really mess up here. If for some reason you didn't like the name of this, you could edit it. And one reason why that might be the case is, let's say you're setting this holiday campaign, but only to a specific area. Maybe you can put in here holiday 2024 for Smithville or something like that. But other than that, I would probably just leave the name as it is. Now watch how easy this is. See how I have recipients right here? The only thing you have to do, the one thing you have to do is click on setup, and then it's going to ask you who of your contacts do you want this to go to. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit setup and then add recipients. And the goal here is to try to be as efficient as possible. So if you have contacts already in Moxi Engage, but they're not in groups already, you can come in here and you can, manually pick each person to add to your campaign and hit add. But the recommendation would be if you are, if you're uploading into Engage, you go ahead and pre-organize them into groups. So like, let's say buyers and sellers or Smith community, attorneys, doctors, whatever it is. If you haven't done that yet, I'm going to tell you that is going to be the most efficient way to utilize any CRM. And if you're not categorized by groups, you're not helping yourself get any business, anybody, because they're all just kind of sitting there and they're not being funneled to the proper marketing. So my next step kickoff of this is, not only do I feel like you guys should jump in here and start putting on campaigns for 2024, looking at this, cleaning it up, get rid of people that maybe you don't think you should have in here. But I also would love for you guys to work in your local offices and with your ASCs to get your contacts into groups so that in seconds, watch the difference here. Instead of manually pulling people out, I'm able to jump in here and with a second, oops, Then 1 second, see how I have all these different groups that I have created in here, buyers and sellers and database or whatever the scenario is. There's a lot in here for training, so you ignore everything. But specifically, let's just say I wanted just this to go to just my prospects. And now if I go ahead and click on that button, it's automatically pulled them out for me and I'm jumping in here to go up, to be able to do that. Keep in mind, as a person, I'm not one thing. I'm not just a buyer, right? I've been a buyer and a seller. So the other caveat to that is engage. When it comes to adding your contacts, you can actually add more than one label. So that it allows you to functionally, properly market to people. So for this particular one, I'm just going to see if I've got I should have myself in here. I'm going to go ahead and add myself so I don't actually send this to somebody that I don't need this to go to. Okay, so you'll see how it narrows it down. I'm going to go ahead and click on this and we're going to hit add. So literally all I did is I went into the library, which is in the top right. I actually pulled in the campaign and then I jumped into the campaign and then I hit set up, add recipients, and I've added myself. That is it. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. This campaign is now done. It is set up. So let's say, for example, you have 1,000 people you want to send to this to. You can still take literally 15 seconds to jump in here, add it to your campaign, and then add those contacts and get it going. So as far as that campaign is concerned, that is that. Now, there is something that we need to be specific about here. It does give you this option here to edit schedule. So if I go ahead and click on this, understand that you do have the ability to do some type of editing here. So for example, you can change, let's say what the title of the email is called. You can remove this piece altogether. So if for some reason you do not want this particular one, or you do not want Valentine's Day, you can come in here and hit remove. So if I go like that, see how it just took it out of there right away. So you have that option. Now, the only thing is that these are built with a lock-in sync. So for example, if you just jump in and use it as it is, you don't ever have to worry about the contact the emails not coming in automatically. However, if I do change anything at all in here, I'm actually breaking the automatic sync with the company. So Coldwell Banker, the brand. So if you change things in here, it will then no longer be a linked campaign. So that would mean that at the bottom here, you might not have these particular ones going out. Specifically, what it would mean, example, would be a 24 campaign. In the past, instead of separating it and just having it just 2023 and 2024, what they did is they rolled it over. So for example, I believe it was like 2022, when you put the campaign in here, you had all of your people on it. It actually kept them in the campaign, and then the brand just uploaded the new material into that same campaign, so nobody had to go in and change anything. So just keep that in mind. You have the ability to edit, but when you do, it does actually change the link directly to the brand, and it just might mean that some of those might not need to go out or might not go out automatically. And if that's the case, you know what you do? You just jump in here and you add them right back in. It's just that easy. So that's as far as the campaign itself. Let's jump into a little bit more of the nitty gritty. I'm going to go ahead and hit run campaign. In the event now that I want to have this not continue running for whatever reason, give this a second here. It's grayed out. In a minute, it's actually going to take us back out. And you can now see that I now have one campaign that is running. And now as soon as somebody receives this campaign, it's automatically going to allow it to start tracking it so you can start watching your analytics, seeing what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Now let's jump into it a little bit deeper here. I want you guys to take a look up here to something you guys may not realize is there, okay? Because this is also going to be an area that has an additional content piece in it, especially for those in luxury. So the first campaign tab here, it just says my campaigns. And as you guys can see, those are your actual marketing campaigns that are done through the brand, like your sphere marketing. The next one here says e-blasts. These are just single-eyed blast emails, but generally speaking, people are usually in just these areas here. The next section here, you guys might not even know is here. In addition to tracking who is actually receiving your campaign material and opening it and whatnot, you're actually able to see the same data for the neighborhood news and then also for listing announcements and sold announcements. So in Moxi Engage, you have an opportunity to sign them up for neighborhood news, which is an analytical report of one's, let's say, street or city or house. And what the reason that that's good is it's not just generalized sphere marketing in the sense it's just general information. Neighborhood news is specific information about, let's say I did it for my zip code. It's literally the houses in my neighborhood, in my street, what's happening with them on the market and such like that. So that becomes relevant to anybody, whether they're buying or selling, if they're an owner, because that's specific information that's going to affect the value of your home. We have noticed that neighborhood news has been one of the biggest lead conversions from somebody who had that as a sphere marketing lead to somebody that's had that converted to a client, because that's information that's been helping them throughout the last couple of months to see where their home is positioned on the market. And just to see what's happening down the street and what their neighbor's house is selling for. Sometimes people just want to have that information. So this is going to give you that detailed information again. So you're going to see how many people you have it on, what your click rate is, what your percentage of open rate and unsubscribes, all the same here, okay? And the same thing with listing announcements. Every time that you put a listing into the MLS, it automatically pulls it out and it generates this listing announcement for you. And what it will do is it will actually automatically send it to all the people that you have subscribed to it. So again, we're looking at more automated marketing. Let our systems work for you, right? Don't waste your time. Let them do the work for you. In addition to the listings, it also does the sold. So let's say I put a house on the market today and all I'm doing is going in the MLS and I'm putting it in there. They're taking it out. They're taking, making my information and putting it on a just listed flyer, sending it to all the people that I have subscribed to that. And then when I sell it, I'm going into the MLS and I'm changing that to sold. The cool thing is it's feeding it again, and it's automatically sending them that just sold. So we're just going to want to make sure you guys are keeping your feet wet with the campaigns and the materials that are in here. Now, the other thing in here is the My Email. So let me just kind of describe what the difference is here. So My Emails are all of the different individual emails that comprise and compose of the actual campaigns, okay? So the My Campaigns tab is just the full campaigns together. Whereas if you go to the My Emails tab, you guys, these are the individual emails from any of them, and you're able to come in here and actually pull these out and then send these as well. So let's say, for example, you only wanted one of the emails that were being sent in a campaign series. You're able to come in here, and as you can see, just like anything else, I'm able to jump in here. Let's say I just want the most recent one in here. Let's say I wanted this one. It's the same thing where you can like pull this out, and then right here it says add from library. So as soon as you pull in a campaign, it's going to put those emails in here for you. So for example, in the My Campaign section, I have pulled in, sorry, you notice in here that I pulled in that holiday campaign, right? So now when I go to my emails, all of the individual emails within that campaign are now going to show up here in the My Email section. So what's neat about that is that if I go back up to that add from library in the top, this is where I took you before, this campaign area, and that's where we pulled out that holiday campaign. The other new thing that they wanted to make sure everybody knew is for the brand's purposes and Coldwell Banker and reaching that, that sphere and having marketing for the luxury. If I were to go ahead and click on the email section, there is now something called, for those of you who are new, it's called Best of the Best, okay? So what they do is they take the best of the best, let's say for luxury, and then they create this website for the best of the best as a recap for the year. And it's great material to pull and use on social media, send it out, add it to your newsletter or whatever. So if you're like me and you don't want to sit here and scroll, I go ahead and I just do Control F or Command F, and then I typed in best of the best, okay? And it's going to find it for me right away. Notice how I have it right here, okay? This is just an individual email. So don't be looking for a campaign in the campaign. It's not there. It's an email. Here's why. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit preview. But before I do that, I want you to see where it says add emails, okay? So if you wanted to have an individual email pull into your email section on your main page, this is where you can pull in and get it. So if let's say I don't want a whole campaign on my main page, but I just want one of the emails, this is what you would do. Look at this. Preview. And then what you're getting is this ready to go email. And again, you don't have to be a luxury agent. You can be somebody that wants to get in the market and kind of sphere market yourself in that sense and put yourself there. So that's what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to come in here. It's very simple, guys. A lot of these different pieces you're going to notice it's a simple graphic or a simple video. And then the text portion is not heavy because guess what? Nobody reads it. And the analytical numbers of open rate versus continue to open rate are higher when there's less for people to read. So this is what they're going to get. And they're going to see in here this link that actually says CB, Global Luxury Best of Best. So it's CBGLB of the best.com. So if you want to look that up, you can. I would go ahead and hit this add to emails. I'm going to take you in there real quick because we're right at time here. So now I've done that. I've literally just did the same thing I did for campaigns where I went add from library just to show you again. And then instead of the campaigns, I clicked on the emails and then I said best of the best. I looked that up and then I'm going to go back out. So let's take a look and see what that actually is. So you'll see in here where it says my emails. You'll actually see that in there right at the top now showing in here. And just like anything else, I have options here where I can actually duplicate it or delete it. But let's take a look and see what that is. So now if you go to C, so CB, which stands for Coldwell Banker, and then GL, which is obviously Global Luxury, bestofthebest.com, this is what you're going to get. So this is the best of the best recap from the previous year. And again, you're able to jump in and take this, plug it into Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you have yourself marketed. And it's just an additional marketing content piece here. So all it is very simplistic in here. And the higher end clientele, they like to receive some of these things. As you'll see, dive into the year's top luxury home trends with a selection of the best products to match. In addition to just reading and seeing what these products are, they've really taken the cue from, let's say, Instagram or social media, where you have these influencers who are talking about the best of the best, and they link them somewhere so they can actually buy it. So this is a very, a newer type end for the brand. And I think it's neat because you're able to come in here and your client's able to now shop the best of the best, and it links to take them into those products. So living room, bedroom, bathroom. And then if you continue to go down, you'll see there's just a lot of good content and good information and things that you can share. So I want you to just look at this right here. And I want you to imagine social media feed, okay? When you're scrolling, what are you seeing in your social media feed? If you're finding it's a lot of the same, these are the things that are going to break it up a little bit. Okay, we need you to think about visually what stops your eye. Okay, a lot of the times when the feed is so repetitious, you'll just kind of lose it and people will scroll. These are the pieces that they're giving you to where if you wanted to grab these and then share these, you're just grabbing their attention and it allows for some interaction. And again, you're not doing anything but just sharing it. So you can see in here, it has kitchen, simple, living room, bedroom, bathroom, outdoor, tech, all the cool techy stuff like that. So keep in mind that if you are, a luxury agent or you're looking to get into that field, this is something that you could even personally mail. Let's say you wanted to do a direct mail to your clientele. You can plug this in and add this in and send this to them as well, whether it's in social media or in Engage or whatever the scenario is in here. So that's it. Just wanted to have you guys show the two newest areas in here as far as that is concerned. But let's jump back in. Drop my cup. Sorry about that. Let me just jump back in here. Let's take a look at something. I forgot to show you something really quick in here. I literally just dropped my cup. That's called Monday for you. All right, so let's jump in. So let's go into campaigns. I wanted to show you. Let me go back in here. Give me just 1 second here. Campaign version. Oh, where did it go? Okay, so we're going to jump off, but let's just do a really quick recap. I want you guys to make sure you know what's in here. So in addition to just those holiday pieces that are the generalized sphere marketing, if you don't have people on campaigns, let's jump in and have you guys schedule yourself to do that today. So as you notice in here, we have a buyer campaign. So we have one also for sellers. So you can have those specific. This one it'll show you it's a 4-touch, which means they'll get 4 pieces. This one's a 10-touch, which would mean over the course of the year, the next 10 months, they would receive one. Homeowners. And again, sellers, but this one's going to be more CVA. So you've got that comparative market analysis and all of those different things pulled into that. And then if you are a manager or an admin in here, we have one for recruiting. Currently, we had a great one running for the last month or so, and that was called the Move Meter Matchup. It was really cool. We actually, the brand pulled together with the NFL. And we had commercials running, and then it was matching up the city, the area, and it was cool because it used our move meter. So our tool, people could go in and match up the cities. It was fun. So anyway, I know we've got some more football coming up, but that's what that is in here. If you've heard anybody talking about that, that's where they're getting some of that content. Again, buyers for closed buyers, and then global luxury for sellers. And then just standardized sellers, but it's actually going to be the dream brand marketing that the company has created. And again, you can see in here, we've got closed client, we've got energy saving tips for homeowners. These are things people are going to be more thoughtful to open than a lot of some of the other stuff for sale by owner, expired listings, Cold seller, maybe you haven't had any response from them in a while. We need a different approach. Buyer versus renter, seller lead, buyer lead, cold buyer. So did you see how many things we have in here? Selling virtually, selling your home, luxury craftsmanship, active buyer. There's a lot, you guys. But it's just about utilizing your content material. So we're going to do a really quick recap. The brand has offered some new, fresh, revised marketing as far as campaigns are concerned, and generalized email for you to use and engage. To access that, you're going to go to engage, and then you're going to choose campaigns. To do anything further, you can always jump in here and then add from library, and it lets you pull in the full campaign versus the email. Now I'm going to answer a really quick question that some of you might have thought. If you wanted to create your own campaign, do you do it here? This is not the place. So in this area, only those with company status admin level can go in and create an actual campaign. For those of you who want to do just like one email or just a generalized email to a sphere or to a person, in the top right-hand corner, do you guys see this little tiny mail icon? It's like right underneath your actual agent icon. If I click on that, it's going to allow me to then go in and then compose an email the same way I would anywhere else. If you're using any type of email server products, this will be easy for you. I'm going to show you really quickly about this, okay? The first thing you want to do, I always jump right down to here. The first thing I do is this little area right here that says mail merge. And this is important because if you don't want someone to get email marketing that's so generalized with no name or no nothing, it can seem stale. This allows you, if I come in here and I choose first and last name, what it's going to do is it's automatically going to pull your contact's first and last name. So the email isn't just going to be just to anybody. It's literally going to say Elizabeth Glass if that's how you have them in your contacts. And then it's obviously not going to show this, by the way. And then the cool part about that too is like this top little section here, I can do an individual. So I can manually look somebody up and it's going to help me find them in here. But again, if I'm doing the whole group thing, and let's say I wanted to do buyers, I'm also able to jump in and, very quickly pull together a whole group of people. And then when I do this mail merge option, it's then going to, even if I have 300 people in here, it's going to pull and individually send just their name. So just a little personalization. And then all of this in here, you can come in here, you can actually type in here just like anything else. And then like anything else, you can do standardized formatting. We can bold it. We can make it a little bit larger. You can change the font. You can add all the things. Let's say, for example, you wanted to add a photo or a graphic. You can do that here by clicking on this little photo icon. And then you're able to jump in here and very quickly, I don't even know if I have a photo in here really quick. Let's see here. That's okay. I'll show you guys later. I don't know what's in here right now. So basically, if you have, watch this, it's the same thing either way. So whether I put a picture in here or typed text, either one, you are able to highlight that and then come over here. And did you guys see this little link? How about this? Is that easier for you? If I highlight either a picture, that'd be nice if I actually typed that correctly. If I highlight text for a picture and then I click on the link button, I am now able to make them go somewhere else. So for example, let's say I wanted them to go to the website for the company. Let's do CB Schmidt. Or your website. Maybe this is a personalized email for a specific property type. So this can go in so many different ways. You can embed here and have a just listed folder. You can have an open house flyer in here. You can have a year-end review in here. You can have a specialized note to somebody in here. It's just really up to you what you want to do. But now when they receive it, they're going to be able to click there and it's going to take them to wherever you want them to go. So maybe that's a landing page for a property you're trying to highlight, or just generally taking them back to your website or social media. So that's it for that part here. And then the subject, you can just go ahead and add in whatever text you want here. Now, if I go down to the bottom, it also lets me add an attachment. So a physical PDF. So these are really great, especially for open houses as well, when people might want to send them out and print them. But easily enough, it's the exact same concept where I'm going to come in here. And again, I'm able to personally customize this in any way. Okay, so let's go ahead and just send that to me just for the purposes of doing this. And keep in mind, like the video, you can also send this to videos as well. So let's say, for example, you wanted to plug in and pull in one of the Coldwell Banker brand videos and have that show here. You can do that as well and just link it to that video also. So as far as this is concerned, you're done and you're ready to go. Okay. And now I'm able to hit send. So what's really cool, the last thing I want to really hone in on is you just watched me set up a campaign to send this out to people. You also watched me look for that email and pull it in, right? Well, yeah, you can see, look at this. You guys can see those analytics here, right? Remember I showed you that and it will give you those individual people. It lets you click on them to physically go into them. But the neat part is it doesn't stop there. If I come over here to people, my people, it's going to take me into all of my actual contacts. So what can happen now is if you go into an individual client themselves, so let me show you two things here. I'm going to go right into that client. And what's going to happen is you're now going to be able to see at the drop of a hat, see how it actually says that activity that you've done for them. If I now click on this, I now actually can come in here to their activity tab and I can see a full history of everything, which is what I love. Because when you start talking to people, it lets you see what happened and when. So if you notice in here previously, I sent out a neighborhood news. And then here right now it says an email was sent from Engage. Now, what would happen is if I then went into my email and opened it up, it would literally have a new activity and it will actually show that I've opened it up. So the whole reason I wanted you guys to see this and plug it in, start the new year off right, is because time is money, right? You're wasting time if you're not being efficient. So if I'm able to come in here and I'm able to see who's giving me activity based off what I'm sending them, I'm now understanding that that's where I'm focusing my time instead of those that are not responding. And again, look at this little clickable message. It actually lets you see what you sent them. So you have a great history of that. But let's jump into the dashboard now, okay? So I showed you how to get campaigns, pull them in. I showed you how to do an individualized email. I showed you how it does reporting there, lets you click it, how it is in the individual agent as well. But this dashboard page is important because it's a snapshot. It's an overview of everything. So now what it's going to do very quickly, I'll show you in here. It just recommends 5 people each day that you should actually be contacting based off your sphere. The next section in here is the gold. Okay, so in the morning, we're together right now, right? You booked this in your calendar. You've got your cups of coffee, you've got your water, you're sitting here and you're looking to set your day up. This is where this allows you to do that, okay? So I know I could have sent this out to 300 people, but this is going to tell me what happened within the last 24 hours. So if I'm being cognizant about being efficient in my business, why am I not coming in here first thing in the morning and showing who my activity is with? Because now I'm seeing Elizabeth Glass has done quite a few things. So I'm probably going to give her a call today, or I'll do some type of marketing and I'll send it out to her because she's showing me that she has more interest today. So this will be everything from the campaigns to emails, but also if you send them a search portal with properties. So let's say you were looking for houses for them and it sent them search portal links. That's what she's doing in here, okay? It shows that the client actually saved the properties and she's in there looking for properties. So that's really, really good because that's in here. And this is a built-in calendar connected to your cell phone. If your cell phone has a calendar that you sync with, all of these things kind of keep you in the know in the beginning and really work at a high level with the least amount of effort. Okay, that's all I'm going to cover today. It's quite a bit, but simple. I'm going to jump in here. Do you guys have any questions in the chat box? Don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a minute to see if you have any questions. But other than that, that's it. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew some of the new options that are happening for you so you guys can get in there and start going. I think we might be good. I don't have anything coming in chat. Okay, awesome. On that note, you guys have a good rest of your day and an awesome week. And reach out to any of us on the training team or your manager or your ASC at any time to get further help on what you need. That's it. Thanks guys so much. Have a good and wonderful day. Bye-bye.